Maybe you were an accident. I don't know. Yes, I feel like a man again since giving up that garbage. Yeah. Yeah, you listen better. You're more tuned in. You're less just like, Dude, porn makes people into gammas. Looney Tunes had characters smoking cigarettes and in blackface. Yeah, BB is the Tubi in the background. Looks like he's trying to get out. No, that's pregnant Raya. That's the reason we're here. She might give birth any minute. Um, Looney Tunes made me smoke cigs. Confirmed. Yeah, that's why. Just be careful what your kids are watching. Um, would you guys want to see a really funny video? Now BBC means something else in porn. Yeah, but see, it's not working like it did because it went too far. It went too. People got numb and then they got weird and then they just got like isolated and that started affecting their life. Like back in the day, if you just had a porno mag, it didn't like break your spirit and make you incapable of meeting a girl, you know? So people are digging themselves out now. That's so true. Porn makes gamma mouths beyond. Because think about the secret king. In their mind, they're like having orgies and everybody wants them and they get to just witness the sex of like the most deviant sultan in the world and then not have to cuddle or chat with them. They just shut it off. They hit the X button. And then when they want it again, they just fire it back up. And then they become narcissistic because they're pleasuring their own dick. There's something narcissistic about that. And so the more they do that, the more they're like, I am the secret. I deserve, I. It's like this weird alternate world where they train themselves to think that they're like both amazing and pathetic simultaneously. I was never a full-blown gamma, but I did make a lot of excuses for myself. Yeah, I mean, a lot of us were never full-blown gammas, but it just makes you just a little weak and just kind of over it. You're not as excited about anything. You cannot get, I don't know what you guys are talking about. Stories that make women feel the need to care for kids is porn for them. Well, women's porn can be odd. A lot of it is books about a psychopathic man who has a ton of resources and is violent, but only likes one woman, but is capable of rape and murder. But it's the Beauty and the Beast thing, where it's like this like total animal, like as animalistically male as possible, but yet also has a dignified side that only comes out with the woman. That's like female porn. It's just as twisted. It gets more and more twisted, but it's just like that's what it is. For men, it's 0.7 hip to waist ratio, high, well, for non-sickos, but not like high fertility and low status men being able to get as much sex as they want. Like, there's a reason it was like the pizza man. There's a reason it's like just the random dude and then the chick who just can't get enough. Because it's the low status male getting the very fertile woman. For women, it's the incredibly high status, violent man that only can be tamed. Like the Game of Thrones storyline was very female pornish. It was like, you never heard of female porn? 50 Shades of Grey. And don't think it's any more moral than Bang Bros. But they like it. They like books better because they like to be the authors of the details. Like the storyline in Game of Thrones where it was like that horse riding like rape legend war machine guy and the blonde girl that tamed him. That's female porn. Where it's like this innocent blonde, girl that's just not really experienced and like the most like warrior crushing, just murdering fucking savage is like, will be gentle with her, but also has a dark, like that's what it is. And so it's like the princess and the savage king who changes around her, like that's female porn. And it's fucking weird, but that's what sparks them up because they want the ultra masculine, the resources, and they want to feel completely special. And so the more that's exaggerated, it becomes absurd. Where it's like like a Mongol king rapist, you know, but totally like soft with her and their kings and queens. BB, this has been an awesome stream. You should do more of these nighttime chat with the bear streams. I will. This is fun for me as well. We were talking about making a bike porn in the saloon the other day. Facebook ads tried to sell me female porn books today. One was called Preacher Needs a Boo. Well, women are now fantasizing about a stable man that wants a family, and it's not working like it once did, because it's, you know, it'll spark their synapses, but it's getting to the point where it's like a T-Rex with a Ferrari. It's just like retarded. Women are so complicated when it comes to that shit. Not really, though. It follows an equation pretty standard. It's like a man, high status man, savage passion and drive, but completely head over heels over one normal girl. And then fill in the details, and that's their porn. And so, you know, controlled animal. That's what they like, you know. But in reality, that doesn't really turn out great. Kind of like what men think is a fantasy in reality is not a fantasy. It gets very sad. I was in high school when 50 Shades came out, and a ton of my friends' moms had a copy out in the open. Well, they had friends over. Super weird. Super weird. Super weird. It was normalized so quickly, and it was like, I made fun of it immediately. I called it 50 counts of rape. I was like, yeah, it's 50 counts of rape. Like, put it right in their face. Like, a lot of rape in there. Odd pedo vibes, too. Like, the girl talks like she's 15. And, yeah, it's like women are like, it's just a book. It's like, whatever, man. Reminds me of a piano and beers without the piano. Yeah, totally. Control is what they want. Well, they want to be completely unique to a savage man that otherwise would just kill and rape and collect gold. But because of her uniqueness, he can serve her, but is still that. It's a duality that is impossible, by the way. Impossible. Like that duality of like, you know, Christian Grey, this like billionaire, ruthless, sexual deviant, like that guy doesn't just go, but just this one. His entire nature is not that. So that's when women because women get in this duality zone, because when they're ovulating and when they're not ovulating, they like very different qualities in you. They don't want multiple men. They want you to be two different men. I've done a lot of stand-up about this. When they're ovulating, they want you to take charge. They want you to be dominant. They want you to, you know, be strong, almost aggressive. When they're not ovulating, they want you to be their friend, their partner, someone who listens to them, like completely different qualities in you. And so when you understand that, they don't even appear crazy. Like when they're ovulating, their body wants very strong genes. They want a man that will make a baby that doesn't die from sickness and can be strong, that'll live. They don't want a weak emotional man to impregnate them, because then they'll have weaker offspring. But once they're pregnant and once they're not ovulating, they don't want the man to kill them. They don't want the man to bring home a bunch of girls to have threesomes with. They want a man that can be supportive and loving to them. So, you know, a lot of these female romance movies, you have the duality. You have the vampire and the werewolf. It's just constant. Like in what was that movie with Ryan Reynolds with the Notebook and all that? You always have like the fighter and the dreamer, the mechanic and the professor, the shirtless werewolf in the woods, and then the soft-spoken emo vampire. But they want it. They want both of those men in you, though. They don't want double men. They don't. They want you to have both of those qualities under control, so that when they need a man, you're a man, and when they need a friend, you're a friend. And if you have control over yourself, you can deliver that very easily. But like when it's like, but Betsy, it's like, well, where do you want to go to eat? It's like, well, you choose. It's like, no, you choose, Betsy. It's like, well, just pick a place. Like, but Betsy, usually you require so much for food that I'd rather have you. It's like, just pick a place, be a man and fuck me, you know? And then 3 days later, she's like, well, I'm really feeling cashews. And you're like, but I thought I was supposed to pick that. I just picked the place. It's like, Betsy. And it makes complete biological sense. Complete. When they're ovulating, they want dominance. When they're not, they don't. That's it. And why wouldn't they? They want their kids to survive and they don't want to be raped and murdered. And when you understand it, you just don't get the resentment against women like these MGTOW guys. It's like, they never know what they want. One day they want me to pick the place to eat. One day they want me to bang them hard from behind. And the next day they want to like just make out and just, I'm like, yeah, completely different biological needs depending on the 28-day cycle, which oddly matches the moon that we never went to. And that's reality. That's the nature of women. You can fight against it. You can try and make women men all you want. They're not. So on point on. Yeah, and that's, women are like, this, listen, this. Dude, I'm this right about the moon landing. But it's just different. People are less like, I don't know. Every time, like, once you realize you can't change nature, like that is nature. That is the nature of women. Be a man, not a bitch, and always have my back and be fun. Right, but there will be different specific needs based on 1 month's time. Make her a table. BB gets human nature overall. Yeah. That's true. My daughter and husband sat on the couch for half an hour. In the end, they didn't order anything. Well, that's when the man has to order. You know? That's the thing, is sometimes women are just in an order spiral and they can't pick anything. Just pick it. It's like, I don't know if I want, well, this is what we're getting. But when she wants to do it herself and she just wants you to listen and talk about what type of avocado she wants, didn't do that. But there's a spiral moment when you realize a woman is just overthinking it and just needs you to be like, this is what we're getting, and then I'm going to bang you and make a baby in your womb. Raccoons aren't a problem if you have a big dog. I don't have a problem with raccoons. I think a lot of pest problems are, you know, dwellings that aren't tight. I know some people think I'm crazy for having these like elaborate sheds and barns, but it saves a lot of death when you have like, you know, a tight place for your chickens and stuff. Like, you know, these grabblers are opportunists. If they can't get in easily, they just move on. What is Rye doing? She's sitting down.